I'm Temmi. I am the director of YogaBuds, a yoga studio in Toronto, Canada. YogaBuds is a boutique yoga studio offering classes and individual yoga therapy sessions for people of all ages. I've been practicing yoga for almost 38 years. I have been teaching for about 34 years, so I am a certified Iyengar yoga teacher. I'm also a certified yoga therapist with the International Yoga Therapy Association, and I'm a registered art therapist with the American Art Therapy Association. So I bring together all my different areas into my work. Yoga is a practice for the whole body, the whole person, mind, body, spirit. And my expressive therapies and my training as a therapist, a psychotherapist, also worked with the whole person and the whole system and so forth. So it was just a very natural amalgamation of my areas of training and interest, my passions. I started studying in India at the Iyengar Institute in Pune. And in the early years, I would just apprentice in their medical classes. Medical classes ran daily for 2 hours, and a whole host of conditions came through that institute. And in my latter years, I worked alongside BKS Iyengar and Geeta Iyengar, no longer apprenticing, but now actually assisting. So I would have a student who I would work with for the whole month, and sometimes more than one student. And I just saw how incredibly powerful this practice could be. Yoga therapy addresses a whole host of conditions, from physical to psychological, mental, emotional, neurological, chronic pain, arthritis, aging, healthy aging. It covers the whole gamut of the whole person. I've worked with a whole range of conditions and issues and ages, students of all ages. I've worked with a young boy with autism. I worked with a 12-year-old boy who had chronic migraines. I've worked with a young girl with ADHD, and I've worked with a young man. He was 12 when he started with me and worked with me till he was 16, and he had Tourette's syndrome. I've worked with elderly people as well, the other end of the spectrum, who have had balance issues and needed help just learning even how to stand and walk correctly. I've worked with post-stroke and how to recover some of the balance issues there and confidence. I've worked with agoraphobia. I've worked with people with low back pain, upper neck, shoulder issues, arthritis. I worked with prenatal students. I worked with a young woman in her 30s who had fibromyalgia, and I helped her with her pain management. The list goes on. There are so many benefits of the yoga therapy process. First and foremost, it's safe, it's supportive, and it's individualized. So depending on the individual's needs, because each person is different, we do many adaptations and modifications through the practice, whether it's through props or the actual choice of pose and the sequence. Yoga is a practice of listening and helping the individual learn to listen to the messages from their body, from their mind, from their heart. Requires skill development of attunement and mindfulness. And when one develops those skills, one truly learns how to be present in the present moment. It's a sense of mastery for the individual, because the person can make a different kind of acceptance with their condition and have a sense of empowerment because they're doing something for themselves. So for example, someone who suffers from chronic pain is living in a state of stress response most of the time, not the relaxation response. So one of the things that will work with that individual to manage their pain is to start with their brain and help them to work with their breath and to trigger, instead of the constant stress response, a relaxation response. So using mindfulness, using breath work, using restorative yoga poses, and of course some verbal dialoguing will work with the individual who is in this place of chronic pain to manage their pain in a much more holistic and beneficial manner. For any kind of change process, the healing relationship is very important. So I foster a sense of safety in my classes and in my yoga therapy sessions by nurturing and fostering and facilitating a safe and supportive healing relationship as well, where trust is part of that. In many ways, The yoga therapy practice boosts self-confidence and self-responsibility and self-care because the person is doing it for themselves. Yes, the yoga therapist is facilitating the practice, but the individual is actually doing the poses or following the breath or quieting the mind through the meditation or learning to work in a relaxed state and so forth. Yoga therapy is an alternative form of medicine, really. It's a form of healing that works with the whole person, mind, body, spirit. And it does not have a prescription per se, but there can be a prescribed sequence of poses for the individual. But it really is a wonderful adjunct or complementary approach to health and well-being that aligns beautifully with more traditional approaches and together can lead the person towards a successful outcome. When one goes to a chiropractor or a physiotherapist, generally they're the recipient of the service. In yoga therapy, the practitioner is the doer. So there is this sense of self-mastery and a sense of mastery over the condition.